friend on Twitter. They're doing a little project. I don't know if they really need this, but I like to do videos randomly. So, talking about Knife Project. So I like to delete everything. You know, open up Blender, delete everything. Do Shift A to add a mesh. They're doing a sphere cut out of, or like a circle cut out of a sphere. Excuse me, out of a cylinder. They said or sphere in their description. So Shift A, add sphere. But yeah, I meant to turn the notations on, but I forgot what that is. The mouse notations. So do R to rotate, SX, scale it out, and then we'll hit Tab, do Shift D just to duplicate that. And we'll hit Tab again. So now we're in our second cylinder. Like if we look up here, so we'll rotate this up 7. Oh, looks like we're in top view already. I've confused myself. Oh my god. There we go. Don't remember what I did there. Tab to go back in. Or we were already in tab. Or we had already gone back into edit mode. Sorry. I'll scale this down a bit. And then I want to delete these spaces. So you just show that. So it's, you know, on this other cylinder here. So how Knife Project works is you have to do it with another object. I wish you could just do it with what you're already working with. But you start with what you want to cut out, the shape you want to cut out. Then you hold Shift, right click to select this one and hit Tab. So now we're in this new one. Hit space. If you ever forget something in Blender, little thumbs, you can just type it in. So there it is, Knife, whoops. Knife Project, hit enter. We'll do cut through, that makes sure it goes all the way through. And then there's a bit of a cleanup. This is partly why else I wanted to do the video. So go ahead and hide this cylinder. We don't need it anymore. There's a few things you can do at this point. For sure, we're going to want to cut this out. Okay, come on, my friend. B to box select there. Click that. Right click the one beneath it. Hit X, choose spaces. So what's getting at is that that cylinder, you know, it's not totally lined up right here, right? So what I like to do first is this. So Control R to loop cut there. And I'm going to join these two. Right click J to join those two. And you can kind of just leave it here, but it's like really unclean, right? So I like to grab all these ones. For here, I make an exception. I'm just going to leave those. But we have these here that aren't a part of our original loops here. You know, if we grab these loops, you know, these ones sort of passed over. You know what I mean? It's like these are the facets of the cylinder. And these ones were cut not along that facet necessarily. So we're going to grab them. Oops. And this part's up to you. Again, I leave these ones up top here. Oh, that's what I was going to do. It's like this is taking forever. We're going to box select, X, vertices, and then we'll just duplicate it. Oh yeah, skipping those ones. Grab these. We'll hit X and we'll do dissolve vertices. So we'll get rid of them. Okay, skip to one. Sorry. Dissolve vertices. So now it's like mostly cleaned up. Again, make an exception right here. And maybe it's like too, you know, not round enough right there. So maybe we want to leave those ones. Leave that you know, extra geometry. Maybe just leave it like that. That's your call. And then we're going to do this. Do edge select. It can be kind of hard because you can't see the vertices anymore. And then we hit F to face or right click to select, and then F to face or fill. Let's see, with the higher poly you can get a little inconsistent, but not inconsistent, but it's kind of like, because it's a weird shape anyway, so you might logically think that, like, you know, this one's thick and then it gets thin and then thick again. It's a little bit weird, but it's just kind of the nature of cutting two curved things into each other. And then here, it's like, again, you're just gonna have to decide like how you want your mesh to be. again. It looks like there's a bit of strangeness right here. So looks like we had a vert that was really close there. So if we select them all and do remove doubles, didn't do anything. So maybe should just absolve this one. Vertices. And that wasn't the best thing to do. So let's X undo that. X faces. And then grab these lone verts. X dissolve vertices. Fill. Now we have a halvesy. A. Shift D. Generally, I like to work in 3D cursor mode. Once you get a little more advanced, this just becomes a little more helpful instead of always doing the median point. And do SX -1. Make sure your 3D cursor was in the middle. So if it wasn't, do Shift S, cursor to center. And then remember to flip your normals. And then select all, move, doubles, smash it all together. That's pretty tight. And you can clean it up again in here. And if you want to leave like that, you know, this extra geometry, you may need to like, depending on your project, you may need to do that, but you can just leave them like that for now. Or you can, I don't know, there's other things. You could do some loops the other way here, like up and down as well. So anyway, that's Knife Project. Someone on Twitter just mentioned it. I haven't done a video in a while. Why not do something so simple? So there you go. Personally, I do it a lot when I'm making bevel things. So actually, I will mention that too. So let's say you wanted to shift add plane. So when I'm like doing environment assets, I'll have an extra plane. Let's get that out first. And I shouldn't do it in object mode, but it's just something you're going to be cutting, you know, using for the projections. So let's say we want to do this. Like I mentioned, it's like something for environments. So we'll put this here. You know, we're already in object mode. So we'll shift, right click, go back to our cylinder, knife project, cut through is already selected. So now go bippity bop, X, vertices, do L, just link select, shift D to duplicate, do SX -1. Again, you want to make sure it's on this pivot here. It doesn't necessarily have to be lined up perfectly along the mesh, like its pivot point where we're going to put the bevel, but it does need to be along this point here. So when we just slide it over, the rotation won't like take it off axis. So anyway, oh yeah, and then flip normals because we did a negative. Close that off. And so there, you can like bevel stuff. I do that a lot with like environment design. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Can't wait to see what you do.